Today we are moving to KC8. KC8 talks about statistics. So that's going to be talking about measuring different datas and different tables and trying to figure out what does it represent. Okay, so for target 8A, we're going to be learning about the appropriate measurements of central tendency to compare center and spread of two or more different data sets. So remember this is your key word. We're going to be learning about the center of a data. All right, so the first thing that we're going to learn is about the mean and the median. Okay, so the mean and the median is going to talk about how to calculate the center of a data. So that is going to answer question number 1. The mean and the median of a data set is calculated in order to find the center of a data. Okay. Well, we need to learn what is a mean and what is a median. Mean is the average. Okay. And the average is calculated by adding all the numbers and then dividing by the total numbers. Alright, so for example, I'm gonna give you an example. So example, if I had the numbers 1, 4, 5, 6, 3, and 2. Alright, to calculate the average, I will have to add 1 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 3 plus 2, and then I will have to divide it by how many numbers I have, and all you do is count the numbers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so I'm going to be dividing by 6. So when you add them together, you get 21 divided by 6, and when you divide, it's going to be 3.5. That's going to be your mean. All right, your median is going to be the middle number. In order to find the middle number, however, you need to remember that you need to set them, your first step is to set them in order. Alright, so numbers have to go from least to greatest. Once they are set in order, then you could find the middle number. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the numbers I gave you on the example for the mean. I have 1, 4, 5, 6, 3, and 2. I need to put them in order, so I'm going to put them in order in the bottom over here. So I'm going to know that 1 from least to greatest, so it's 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Once I have them in order, I could now find the middle number. How do you find the middle number? I usually start crossing out the number. So if I cross out a number in the beginning, I cross out 1 at the end. I cross 1 in the beginning, I cross 1 at the end. Notice that if I cross out 3 and 4, I'm not going to have no middle number. Okay, so I cannot cross them out. What I'm going to have to do is that I'm going to have to add 3 and 4. Okay, so those are my middle numbers. So 3 plus 4 divided by 2. Because I have two numbers and I'm trying to find the middle number. So 3 plus 4 gives me 7, divided by 2 equals 3.5. So this will be my middle number, 3.5. I'm just going to put it as 3.5. Okay. Sometimes your numbers are going to be in order and they're going to have enough numbers to cancel, so your middle number could be the middle number. So for example, if I have 2, 3, 4, and 5, again, I will cancel the beginning, the end, the beginning, the end. And notice how I don't have to add for this one. My middle number will be 3. So you guys gotta be careful. But don't forget that the first thing is to set them in order. Alright, answer number 1 already. Why are we doing the mean and the median? To find the center. Okay. So number 2, it says a bowler had the scores below in her 6 most recent games. 26, 123, 128, 134, 137, and 144. You need to calculate the mean and the median score. So to find the mean, you need to add all of them. 26 plus 123 plus 128 plus 134 plus 137 plus 144. And then you need to divide it by 6 because there's 6 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you will be needing a calculator. So my suggestion is that you start taking one out. You bring one to school or get one ASAP. You're going to keep needing this. All right. So when you add them together, this is going to equal 692 divided by 6. All right. Some of you guys are going to get confused. Are going to forget to divide. All right. So let's say that I forgot to divide and I told you my answer was 692. The problem with this is that when we find the mean and the median, we're trying to find the center, right? So 692 is not the center of my data. Look at the lowest number is 26. The highest number I have is 144. That means that my final answer has to be between 26 and between 144. It cannot be less than 26 and then it cannot be greater than 144. So I know that 692 is too much, but that's because I forgot to divide by 6. All right, and once you divide 692 divided by 6, your answer will be 115.3. That will be the mean. All right, next, to find the median, the middle number, I need to set them in order. Well, you should notice that your numbers are already in order. Okay, so all you have to do is cross them out. I'm going to cross one at the beginning, one at the end. One at the beginning, one at the end. Obviously, if I cross out 128, 134, I'm not going to have a middle number, so that means that my middle number is between those two numbers. So 128 plus 134 divided by 2, because there's two numbers that you're adding, and your median is going to be 131. That's how I figure out the median. All right, so that's how you figure out the mean and median to find the center of a data. Another way to find the spread or the center of a data is by using a box and whisker plot. All right, so box and whisker plot. In order for you to understand how to read a box and whisker plot, you need to understand what's happening between all of this, okay? So, for example, I see the first point right here. This is my first point. My first point is going to give me my minimum. Sorry. Your second point, because there's only 2 points, is going to give you the maximum. Okay, next, we have this box in the middle. Okay, this whole box is called interquartile range. Interquartile range. Okay, it's called interquartile range because it has 3 quartiles. The first dash on the box is called quartile 1. The second one is called quartile 2. And the third dash, it has quartile 3. Okay, another thing that you need to remember is that quartile 2 is always going to give you your median. So that line inside the box is going to be the median. So that when they're asking about the median, you're looking at this line in the middle. This line is going to tell you the median. Okay? All right. I'm sure we're going to get more. Once we start practicing more, you're going to get used to how to read the box and whisker plot. All right, so number 2, it says, which branch of biology has the greatest median? Median is the line inside the box, so the middle one. So this one, that's the line in the middle for that box. This is the line in the middle for that box. This is the line in the middle for that box. This is the line in the middle, and this is the line in the middle. Which one has the greatest median? And I'm reading the numbers from the bottom, right? So I can see that this one's about 25. This one's about 19. This is about 24, 25, and this is about 31. Now that I know, I can answer my question, and I know that 31 is the greatest, so that means Sulagi is the answer, is the one that has the greatest median. All right. Next, which company has the largest interquartile range? Interquartile range again means the box. Okay, this word means the box. Which one has the greatest box? And you could notice that this company C has the greatest box. So that's my answer. It's pretty easy once we start practicing. All right, number 5. Number 5 is the easiest of all of them. Okay. The frequency plots below show the distribution of raisins in boxes of 2 different brands of raisins. Write a description of the standard deviation of the number of raisins in each of the company's boxes. Based on the spread of data, so the spread of data, which company had more raisins in their box? All you have to look is at which graph represents more spread. The data is more spread, and again, spread means when something is not on the same spot. Okay, so for instance, think about when you're sitting in class. Are you guys all sitting in the middle? Are you guys all sitting on the side? No, right? You guys are all spread. Some of you guys are sitting on the side, in the middle, on the side by the windows. So you guys are all spread. That's what spread means. So based on this, I know that National Raisins Company is more spread because mostly for Sun-Maid, all the raisins are right here in this box between 28, 29, 30. It's not spread enough. But National Raisin Company does. So that's my answer, and I just have to explain it because it's more spread out. That's it. You must circle and write me my explanation. So don't forget about that. You need to write and circle. Alright, so obviously National Race Company is my answer. And that's all we are doing for that question. I told you it was pretty easy. Cannot get this one wrong. It's easy. Number 6. Number 6 is the trickiest question of all of them. Why? Because there's different steps that we have to do to answer this question. Alright, so before I read the problem, notice how this chart is right here. Okay, this is going to talk about the percentages of my table, of my graph. Let's put it that way. You need to know how to use this so you can explain my answers, because my answers has to be in percentages. So let me explain it real quick. This little mountain, right? Do you see this little mountain? Okay, that's my little graph. Okay, if you split the mountain in half, you're going to create 2 equal sides, right? That's why my percentage for this section right here and right here, just this little one, is 34%. This one right here is 13.5. This little tiny one right here is 2, and this tiny one that you can't really see is 0.5. Because it's in half, my mountain is split in half, I have the same thing on the other side. This is 34, this is 13.5, this is 2, and this is 0.5. All right, the whole mountain has to equal 100%. Okay, so if you split the mountain in half, that means that this line this way is 50%, and this line from the middle to the left side is 50%. 50 plus 50 gives me 100, and if you add 34, 13.5, 2, and 0.5, that will give me 15%. That's how I get 50%. All right. Another thing that we're going to be talking about is standard deviation. Standard deviations are the numbers on the bottom. You always start from the middle, the average. If you go to the right, you are adding. Notice how they're positive numbers. When you go to the left, you're subtracting. That's why they're negative numbers. Okay? All right, now I can read the problem. It says Andrea averaged 15 points per basketball game with a standard deviation of 3 points per game with a normal distribution. All right, Casey averaged 18 points per game with a standard deviation of, I can't see because I wrote 50%, of 2 points per game. All right. In order for you to fill in the percentage, you need to fill in the tables first, the graphs. We need to fill in those graphs first. The average will always be the middle number, the center, right? Because we're learning about the center of data. So that is the center. This is 15 points. Standard deviation, remember I told you is right here. Move to the right, you add. Move to the left, you subtract. The standard deviation for Andrea is 3 points. That means that from the middle to the right, I'm going to add 3. From the middle to the left, I'm going to subtract 3. So 15 plus 3 is 18. 18 plus 3 gives me 21. And 21 plus 3 gives me 24. 15 minus 3 gives me 12. 9, and 6. Alright, we found Andrea. Now let's work on Casey. Casey averaged 18 points. That means that average means the middle. This is 18 points. Alright, standard deviation of 2 points. So that means I'm going to the right and I'm adding 2. I'm going to the left, I'm subtracting 2. 18 plus 2 gives me 20, 22, 24. 18 minus 2 gives me 16, 14, and 12. All right. Once you fill in your table, your little graph, now you could go back to your answers. Now you're going to find the answers. It says, about what percentage, you see, it says percentage. Now we're going to be using the percentage table over here, the graph. All right. What is the percentage of the performance we'll expect Andrea and Casey to average 12 points or more? This is your key. This is how you're going to find your answer. What points are we focusing on? They told you from 12 points or more. Okay, so let's work with Andrea. 12 points with Andrea starts right here. And obviously it says or more. Okay, so it's increasing if we go to the right. So I'm going to use this space of my mountain. I'm going to use this space of my mountain, this space, and this little tiny space. Based on my table that they gave me over here to the right. Let me delete all of this so we can pay more attention to this. All right. Based on this, I know that the middle, right, is my 15 points already. So I know that this side, this whole side right here of the mountain, okay, I already know that this whole side is 50%. How do I know that? Well, because 34, right? This is 34. This is 13.5. This is 2, and this is 0.5. If I add them together, it's 50. And I told you from the middle to the right is 50%. To the middle to the left, it's another 50%. Okay, I already used this half of my graph. I'm missing this side, the 34%. This is another 34. So all you're going to do is add 50 plus 34% because this is 34. And that's going to give me 84%. Again, if you don't understand how I got 50, easy. You don't have to complicate it. Just add all the numbers that we had. We had 34 plus 34 plus 13.5 plus 2 plus 0.5. This is all going to equal 84% as well. Okay? I just don't want you to do extra work, but if you can't see it, you can't picture where's the 50%, then don't worry, just add all the numbers. You have 34, 34, 13.5, 2, and then you have 5.5. Once you add them all together, it's going to give you 84 still, so it doesn't matter. All right, that's for Andrea. Casey. Again, remember, we're focusing from 12 points or more. For Casey, 12 points starts right here, and more means that we're going to use all of this side right here. So it's going to be this side, this side, this side, this side, this side, this side, and this side. All right, once again, I'm using half of it already. This whole mountain right here, this whole thing, it's already 50%, and I'm already using it, right? Now let's look at the left side. I'm using everything except for this little piece right here. That's the only piece I'm missing, so it's not going to be 50%, right? And I told you that the whole thing has to equal 100. And the only thing I'm not using is the 0.5%. 5%. So all you're going to have to do is subtract the 0.5, so that gives me 99.5%. All right. However, if you didn't understand how I got that, all right, let's go back. I highlighted everything that we're using, right? So that means that I'm going to go back to my table over here, my graph with my percentage. I know this whole left side is 50 already, right? This all 50. I already know that. On the left side, I know this is 34. I know this is 13.5. And I know this is 2. If I add 50 with this side, that's going to give me my 99.5. Or you still can't figure out what is 50. All right, we use this side. This side is 34. This is 13.5. This is 2. This is 5. Sorry, 0.5. When you add all of these together, still going to equal 99.5. So there's different ways how you can get your answer. It all depends on how you are understanding your table over here. All right. So point is that all you have to do is add the percentage together, and that's how you get your percentage. And obviously the last question has to do with your answer from part A. So it says, by these statistical measurements, who will you consider a better player? Well, it would be Casey. This question does get tricky, so make sure you know how to do it. This will be on your quiz. This will be on your test. So if you have any questions, make sure you come visit me in the morning. The homework packet, okay, everything is with you. If you have any questions, just ask me. Anything else, you know where to reach me. You can also send me a remind message. So hopefully this video helped.